What's up
What's
with it,
up,
man? Thank you for tuning in to B.Y.O.B, where we believe the Bible is basic instruction before leaving Earth. Our desire is to bridge the gap between the Bible and the believer, because we know at this time with the world view, we need to bring a biblical view with sound doctrine, because it's crazy out there. Yeah,
it is. You know, it's hard out here. It's crazy out there.
What was that?
Y'all, welcome back.
That,
welcome back. Welcome back.
Wow, said we're going in every round,
So,
go higher.
We apologize for being late, guys.
15 minutes.
Y'all know every Sunday we do our church service first,
Hey.
and then sometimes spirit come in, sometimes prayer going on, and then we're running behind. So if we're ever running behind, please charge it to the Holy Ghost and not to us, because it is not us just lollygagging. So we had an awesome time in service today. For those who are in the Mansfield area, Mansfield, Midlothian, DFW area, you guys should stop by. We have 3 more Sundays in this space. 115 North Main Street inside of 063 Studios. Y'all should come to a live service and enjoy and fellowship with us. That is your invitation. All right. So far, we have been studying. Our goal is to go through the entire Bible and understand why it was compiled the way it was compiled. And a lot of the times we look at it like it's just random history, right? But the Bible is literally from Genesis all the way through Revelation. It's the covenant unfold. Well, I'm saying the books we've covered so far has been the covenant being unfolded. So we're going to do a quick little recap before we jump into Joshua and Judges. So before we do this, we have to remember where we are in the story.
Walk us through it.
Number one, we have been walking through the entire Bible, not as disconnected stories, but again, as one unfolding covenant story. So let's remember, in Genesis, the promise was given. God made a promise. Y'all be looking at the wrong camera. I'm sorry, Ashley. So in Genesis, the promise was given. God made a promise to Abraham. In Exodus, the promise was protected through deliverance, because you know they were captives. They made it out. I made it out. I made it out all right.
You feel the spirit?
I'm feeling the spirit. Then we made it to Leviticus, and in Leviticus, the promise was purified through holiness. This is when they were learning how to live in the presence of God. Like they were making sacrifices so that they can remain holy in the presence of a holy God, right? Excuse me. Then we made our way to Numbers, where the promise was delayed through unbelief. Because you had all of the, what we kept saying, old heads, they were dying, and this new generation just wasn't as familiar. So we get to Deuteronomy, and in Deuteronomy, Moses is like, hey, did I say Moses? Moses. Oh my gosh.
We understand.
Moses was reminding them to remember. Like, you have to remember before the inheritance. Otherwise, you get the inheritance, then you get the big head. You start forgetting who you are.
I'm saying, don't forget where you come from.
Don't forget where you come from, because you sometimes get the big head. You forget, and you don't remember what you come through, where you've been, what it could be. Y'all heard the coulda, shoulda, woulda, because you're so stuck on the right now, when right now can change in the twinkling of an eye.
That's good stuff.
So now here we are now Israel stands at the Jordan, right? The wilderness generation is gone, because they children have begat. That's what it's saying in the Old Testament, begat. But they children started having children. So the wilderness generation is gone. And I would say this, the promise is still valid. It's not new, but the moment is new, because it's a new, same group, as far as the Israelites, but it's a new generation of people.
Realize they born in the wilderness and not in Egypt.
They're born
free,
but they're born from the people that were in the wilderness that knew a little bit. Yeah. They knew enough to where Moses was like, hey, y'all have got to remember. You're not slaves anymore. You got to remember. You got to remember where you come from. You got to remember the God of your forefathers. Please, please, please remember. Y'all know I had one on a little squirrel. They told me last week on just remembering.
That's the situation we're in now. You got to remember. That's
you do.
We coming out of Black History Month because why? You need to remember. That was a whole month for us, just about remembering where we come from. Because what they say, if you destined to repeat something if you forget.
Oh, and that's what we about to jump into today. Come on, because when you don't remember, and he already said it, you repeat.
Yeah.
Cycle of oppression.
Yeah.
You repeat the things that kept them so burdened and just like discombobulated and not faithful, and everything that kept them from entering the promise early, everything that kept them from holding on to it when they had it, you know, those are the things they were supposed to remember.
Sure.
Remembering the power of God, remembering who delivered us in the first place, remembering that we are his chosen people, all of these things, remembering who you are, whose you are, where you come from, and what the promise is. And even in our regular 21st century lives, sometimes we tend to forget. We miss a couple of Sundays, right? It's like, okay, I'm working. The Lord knows my heart. Then a couple of Sundays become a couple of years. And before you know it, like, I mean, it's easy to happen that way because think about it. You work Monday through Friday. You try to have Saturday to yourself. Somebody take up your Saturday, or you get called in. So now I want to rest on Sunday, then hit it back again on Monday. So it's easy to happen. But when we let that pass us by and we don't come together and we're not studying and we're not communicating with God and remembering who he is in our lives, you do tend to forget.
Quick.
So here we are today, stepping into Joshua and Judges.
Good book. Good book.
Two books. Oh, he said good book because y'all know when we were in Leviticus, so he's like, them boring.
Yeah, a lot of equations, a lot of begot. There's a lot of begotten going on in a
baby. They were multiplying. They were multiplying.
There's a lot of multiplication going on in them couple of books, man.
So here we are. We're in Joshua and Judges, and these two books answer one major question: what happens after God keeps his promise?
Okay.
Because the promise was to deliver them into this. We always say promised land.
Yeah.
There you go. So now that they're in the promised land, what? Right?
Yeah.
So here we go. Like you made me nervous. You're looking over there. I was like, what's happening?
Hey, as long as I don't get out to see you.
Come on. So we've already talked about what happened in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Here we go. Let's dive into Joshua.
Walk us through it.
So
walk us through there.
But I think you should. Moses is dead.
Come on.
Joshua is in charge.
So transitional leadership. I think that's something, worth. That's a whole series by itself. But transitional leadership, here it is. Joshua is taking the people somewhere he been. That's what some of you got to keep that in mind too. He's been there. He one of the 13 spies that Moses sent in there to confirm what God showed him. We always say that's a bad test in leadership when you're trying to confirm something that God showed you through humanity. How are you trying to get humanity to complement what deity showed you, or to confirm what deity showed you? God spoke to Moses. He should have just moved. He used them. Joshua, one of the spies, to go through it. Moses go through this whole process again, frustrated, aggravated with the people. They get to the point where Moses is able to see the promised land, but he's so frustrated he strikes the rock. We talked about that before, about the rock is Jesus. It's what we'll call types and shadows. Always in the scripture where we say every picture in the Bible is a smaller picture of the big picture of Christ. So when he strikes that twice instead of once, it's the same striking that you represent what's going on with Christ. He didn't get struck that extra time. So him being the rock that's going to give us sustaining water, Moses messed it up by disobedience. So with him being disobedient, you can't walk into the promise with disobedience, which is the same thing, type and shadow for us. We were never walking into the true promised land that Christ had for us if we operate in disobedience. Yeah. So it's a lesson. Then you say Moses died and the angels come pick him up. I ain't got time to argue with those people that are naysayers in the Bible and argue with this. We know that it said the heavens pick up Moses. So that's a whole nother story. I believe he one of the three that come back.
If the Bible says it, then what's the argument?
Hey, theologians like to argue, but There's a lot of intelligent people that read a lot of big books, and they feel like
they read a lot of big books.
Big books. Only problem is they didn't let me get on Audible, so it's over with for. You didn't let me get on Audible, so I'm gonna catch you. So listen, anyway, long story short, I believe he one of the prophets that gonna come back. So with that, you got Enoch was taken up. So I believe that whole little cycle that God's gonna use, and then Elijah, chariot of fire. So in that, knowing where Moses got, Joshua take over. You don't get a chance to talk to Moses. One no blueprint. Hey, this is the next couple steps. Moses just gone for the scene. And then God so cold. The book of Joshua started up. My servant Moses is dead. Now Joshua. We
don't have a grieving or mourning period.
I can't grieve when this man ain't do no repass. Where the mac and cheese at? Ain't nobody had no chicken. He like, listen, Moses dead, but the plan and mission ain't dead. Which shows you something about God right here. I always look for lessons. He show you his mission is always bigger than the man.
Yeah.
We get caught up in man, you see, and nothing wrong with honor. I believe in honor, I believe in legacy, but it never trumps the mission.
For sure.
You should never be like,
That's
it's
good.
them. No, the mission always be. That's why if the mission died with the man, it wasn't God. I say right now. If it's a mission and he dies, it wasn't God. It's something missing. I would argue with your whole Black History Month. I argue about Dr. King with the dream, but I ain't got time to even get in it. If something dies when the individual dies, it shows you it was limited from the start because it should be bigger than it. It should be so many other dreamers because of it. But long story short, Joshua take over is where we're at now. When Joshua take over, you got to realize Joshua taking over after slave mentality people dies.
You got the structure? You got the structure?
Yeah, I ain't following structure. My bad. Go. So Joshua take over after the people that's in slavery dies. Then they mindset, all that happened. Moses get frustrated. That's the reason why he loses, because of that mindset. Then you get into that, he take over those people coming in. These are wild people. They born in the wilderness. They used to manna falling from heaven, different mindset than somebody that was used to slavery coming out of there. So in there, you understanding that process, Joshua taking over, he got to lead them into this. But you go into a land flowing, making honey, but it's other people there. That's the catch too. Because God will give you detail, hey, it's people here that you saying is my land. And so that's when we jump in kind of Numbers, chapter 13, where he get in there, he got to fight Joshua before, Numbers chapter 13, where he said they get grasshoppers. So evidently these are giants, and they fighting people that's kind of above their talent and stuff. But Joshua got to walk them through that process.
They look scary.
Yeah, man, in there. But that's his leadership. He's a warrior leader. Notice God always give you a leader for the time and the area that you're in. He perfect for that. Moses strategist. How we get out here? Hey, Pharaoh, let my people go. Strategize. Boom, boom. He come out the wilderness. He lead them where he had been. When she been in the wilderness for 40 years, so Moses left. Joshua warrior leader. He lead them where he been. What? The land flowing milk and honey. So all these types of shadows you see it. Joshua is what I say, the type of shadow of who Christ really is. He's showing us who Yahweh finna be. So
Yahweh. All right.
Come on.
So you already said Moses dead, Joshua the new leader. So I thought you were gonna pull it up, and you were flowing. So I was like, hey, pull it up. Pull it up. So the structure of Moses. So not Moses, Joshua. So in chapters 1 through 5, and I wanted to break it down this way so that you guys can kind of study in your own time and see this entire story unfold across multiple books. It's one story, but it's unfolding over generations, long time periods across multiple books. But okay, so in chapters 1 through 5, they're crossing the Jordan.
Okay.
And one that I want to pull out because you said it, and it has never ever left my mind, because mind you, I didn't touch the Old Testament because there was a lot of begats and some names that I couldn't pronounce. Then I would go night, right? But you had said something about Rahab being the great grandmother of David. So I was like, had she not helped the spies, we wouldn't have my Jesus.
Come on now.
Because he had to come through that lineage.
Yeah,
like this is all the promise unfolding, right? So let me tell you a little bit. Rahab was a prostitute. They called her a harlot.
Boaz mama. All that tea ain't it.
Y'all seen the movie Boaz? If you hadn't, go watch it. I liked it. But
They should have showed that part.
Yes, Tyler Perry had a movie called Boys. But Rahab was a prostitute, right? And she believed in the God of Joshua, like Joshua's them God. She was like, okay, y'all God for real, right? So when they went in to spy, she was like, y'all, I'm gonna hide y'all something on her roof, under something, however they go. Y'all gotta go read it yourself. But she hid them. When the army people came, they was like, hey girl, what them spies at? She was like, they gone. So she asked them, could you just please spare me and my people, because I know your God is real, yada, 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 yada. Long story short, they gave her a scarlet or red rope.
Yeah, the towel.
Which, now you know I started seeing Jesus and stuff again.
Protection.
But it was to protect her and her family, just like how when the children of Israel was still in Egypt and all the famines and stuff were happening, they had to put that blood over their doorpost. So the death angel would pass them by. This is pretty much the same thing, because they went in thinking kill, 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 so we can take this land. But not her and her family, because
protection.
She had that scarlet rope, which represents the Passover, y'all. They passed her over. They saved them. And it had to happen because in Genesis, there was a redemptive plan already in play.
Yeah.
The child of the woman was going to crush the head of the serpent. Yeah. And it wasn't talking about the children that we bear, just regular human beings, but they were talking about the Son of Man that was going to come through Mary later on down here in the line, y'all. Come on now, I see Jesus already.
Preach that woman a good lie. She lied to
Come on, she lied to protect them, because Jesus had to come through their lineage. Long story short, she ends up,
the right thing, the wrong
way. Like being a part of the Israelites and stuff. She ended up being a part. That's how we end up getting to Jesus and all the things. Anyways, but before the conquest, y'all, identity had to be reaffirmed. That is why she had the I keep saying it's the Passover, but she had the scarlet robe.
Yeah.
So we move into chapter 6 through 12, where they're conquering the land. Jericho is this place, and it's a fortified city.
Okay.
Y'all know about the wall, and the wall of Jericho came tumbling down. You remember that? You never heard that? Oh my gosh. Okay, never mind.
Y'all were getting busy, man.
I promise we learned something like that, Vacation Bible School one summer.
Eastside.
Oh, don't do that.
Y'all
don't do that, because we watch feet. We watch feet. Come on now, because you got some songs
that's white
that are quite questionable.
That's white temple, baby.
So, anyways, it's a fortified city, and it's the first battle in the promised land.
Yeah.
That's what I looked up, right? It's the first battle in the promised land. So while they are there, they're preparing for their battle and all this stuff, but they were instructed to march around this wall versus go in there and kill everybody and take it and do this. So their victory was found in their obedience.
Obedience, come on now.
Because had they not listened and actually obeyed, because sometimes we hear what is being said, but something is happening in our brains where we're not quite processing it. And I heard it, but something wasn't clicking, and I didn't do. But the good thing about them is that they heard it and they did it. And I attribute that to Joshua's leadership, because we're going to see further down the line where they didn't have leadership after Joshua was dead and the people was losing their mind.
Yeah.
So now we're moving into chapters 13 through 24.
Yeah.
The final, it says, this is a final covenant that was declared. Joshua says in 24 and 15, as for me, okay, let me say this part first. He divided up the land into the tribes. Okay. What is it? 12 tribes, right? So he divided them up into 12 tribes. So they divided and they committed to each whatever. But this is where I wanted to get to, because that's a story we kind of heard, and you couldn't go read it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get to this because of my understanding of it. But anyways, Joshua 24 and 15. It's like I'm rushing. He says, as for me, this is Joshua talking, in my house we will serve the Lord. Y'all, that stuck with me. And I kept saying, why did Joshua feel the need to tell them that? Well, remember, Moses had reminded them. Moses was a pastor. Moses, like he, not that Joshua didn't care, right? But Moses cared, and he was working hard for his sheep. Yeah. Like, y'all, please don't forget, even after I'm gone, y'all keep loving the Lord, and y'all remember, and y'all honor the Lord and live in holiness. And like, he's trying to teach them so that even after he's gone, like, y'all got this to hold on to and pass it down and never forget who you are. Like, he's really concerned with them forgetting, because he knows that when you forget, what happens? Like, you turn away from your creator, right? But when Joshua said this, I'm like, okay, why? The tone has changed, because Moses was like, please remember, don't forget who God is. Moses and Joshua was like, okay, this the covenant. Yeah, y'all can do what you will with it, but as for me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. Y'all gonna serve God, or you gonna do them idols? That's your business. That's your choice. But let me tell you what me and mine gonna do. Yeah. For a long time, and then I never really dove into it. Like, you hear it, you say, as for me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. It's like a catchphrase or a nice little song or chant or something to say without understanding what it is. Joshua, he ain't got time for the nonsense. He did not have time for the foolishness. You gonna remember what Moses said so that you can honor the Lord your God, right? Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand and make you do it. Yeah. It has to be a choice, because if I make you do it, I got to make you sustain that relationship and continue it even after. And at some point, he's going to be gone. Yeah. So the tone has changed. And what I see, the leadership style and everything has changed. Because like you said, it's a different time. It's a different people. Yeah. Even though they're still Israelites, these children were begat from the wilderness children. So y'all little wild wilds. Yeah, and then I made that up. Wild wilds.
That's Joshua peers too, because he was raised with them. So now you leading your peers versus Moses was more of a father. He come out of nowhere. He raised in Pharaoh's house, totally different from them. He don't have their childhood. He experienced something totally different. He of a royal class. Just imagine how he carries himself versus everybody else.
But even when you're with your peers sometimes, right? Yeah,
they're not looking at
you have some peers. It's some people, the hand of God is on their life. Yeah, yeah. You know that there's a power and an anointing there. So you look at them differently. I'm not looking you like eyeball. Not that I'm walking with my head down when you're around, but I'm not necessarily comparing myself to you. I'm not looking at you like that. Yeah. Not in the physical, at least. I'm looking more in the spiritual aspect, because I ain't crazy. I see this thing on you. I know there's something different. I think it's the power of God, but I know it's the power of God. So peer or no peer, there's a different level of respect
for that,
because of the call that's on your life. And I think we have to do that sometimes too, because you brought up, well, you got to keep in mind he was with his peers and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But even to this day, we can't not respect a person because they're older or younger, because we're the same age or we went to the same school. We can't let that familiarity. My grandma would always say, don't get too common. Yeah. Don't get too common, because when you get too common, you start losing respect, and then the voice doesn't carry the authority anymore. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you something. As we continue to dive deeper, what they needed and craved was that authority, was that leadership, was that guidance.
Gotta have it.
Yeah. So I wanted to share how I see Jesus, though, before we hit up Judges. So Joshua leads Israel into a temporary rest, right? Yeah. Because now we are in the promise. Mm-hmm. But look how Jesus did, y'all.
What he do?
He gonna lead us to eternal rest.
Eternal rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like a picture was playing in my head. I said, okay, Joshua got them to the promise. Mm-hmm. Jesus is going to get us to the promise. Yeah. They had a temporary rest where you didn't have to fight a little bit for when you first got there, you did. You had your first battle. But then look how God prevailed. Even in there, even in your unbelief, even in your forgetting of him and not remembering and honoring him, he still showed up and showed out. He came through. Listen to me and follow my instructions. Just march around and boom. Yeah. He still showed up and showed out. So now you in here and you can relax a little bit. You can build your house, build the nation, like build your wealth, build your family. Like y'all can enjoy the fruits of your labor now. Yeah.
That's good.
Joshua led them to that, right? Yeah. Just like Jesus is going to lead us, the least believers, into the eternal rest. Joshua, under his leadership, they defeat the enemies. Mm-hmm. Just like Jesus defeat sin and death. Yeah. Then Joshua divides the land. We already talked about that. There's some tribes and stuff. And Jesus is going to secure inheritance for us all. Mansions that were not made by man's hand. Us walking the streets of gold. If that's not an inheritance, oh my gosh, then what are you looking for? What is that if that's not our inheritance? So Hebrews 4 reminds us that if Joshua had given true rest, another day would not have been spoken of. Joshua point forward to the people when he said, hey, y'all gonna have to choose who you gonna serve and do that. But I'm gonna tell you what me and mine gonna do. And he left that thing alone. So now we're walking into Judges, the book of Joshua. And when we did our digital backdrop, the first one, it showed a picture of like a kingdom, a nation, and it was bright and it was light and it looked like money. It looked like prosperity. And it was the book of Joshua. And then you look at Judges and it's dark. It looks desolate. It just looks completely different. Yeah. So that's where we're about to go now, into the book of Judges. You had anything you want to say?
Just a whole transition from Joshua to Judges, they changed in leadership again. And now on that leadership style, like you said, Moses is a pastor. Then you're looking at Joshua, his leadership is a little bit different because Joshua is just kind of, he's a transitional leader. I'm picking up behind Moses. So really like God spoke to Moses, but I'm trying to finish the mission. So then you have that.
He an apostle.
That lady
he was like, planning. He planted the 12 tribes.
He planning and he moving, so it's not like that holding your hand. It's like, hey, we got to go here, and then either you go
more direct too.
Yeah, but as me and my house, this is where we going. So we're gonna serve the Lord. But then you had to transition to Judges because now God has set someone up to judge Israel. Y'all have made it to the promised land, but you're veering off. You got to the promise, but then you forgot. You know, that we were talking about earlier. The Romans and all that was talking about, you need to remember, because that's what Moses trying to tell you to do. When you get there, don't ever forget who got you there. Because then you'll mess around, lose your way, and then you'll lose the promise because you didn't lose the one that the promise keeper. And so I think that's a lesson for all of us to make sure you don't lose the promise keeper behind the promise.
Yeah.
So that was the purpose of that. Now judges come on the scene. Now they're judging different characters. And the only judge that a lot of people know is Samson, because we talking about it all the time. But then if you kind of like a Sunday school alumni like I am, no, Samson and Delilah.
Oh, no, Deborah.
He's good. Deborah. The only woman judge. So Deborah is the woman judge. So, with her being a commander, prophetess, and being able to maneuver and use and lead men, that was powerful. But those are the ones that kind of like just stand out their story. And God called them once again, it's all because he's calling and checking Israel. You're wrong. So he's sending these judges to correct and judge their situation. And that's how we get into judge. He set it up. Yeah. A good little
So as we're entering into Judges,
run it down.
As I was going through, I was like, okay, the compromise became the culture because they left, Joshua left them with this. Choose ye this day who you gonna serve. Blah, blah, blah. We gonna serve the Lord, me and my house. They continued to compromise. It was like he said it, but he didn't tell us to. He ain't making us. So, you know, it's like, okay, I can kind of do what I want to do. Everybody was in their own way. Like, I think this is the truth. I think this is right. And everybody was doing what they thought was right. And then they didn't remember. Like, they ain't know. They didn't even know their own history, which makes me think about us as a culture sometimes.
My people destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
We don't see the same little stories every month, and it becomes like a cute thing. You have the kids act it out. You have a little program or something like that. But if you really knew the struggle if you really understood where you really came from and what it took to get you to where you are, you have a different appreciation for it. And each generation, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Like it gets bad. So, anyways, Joshua dies. The new generation does not remember. Judges chapter 2, verse 10 says, there arose another generation who did not know the Lord. The warning that Moses was trying to give in Deuteronomy, Moses is begging and pleading, y'all, don't forget, remember, had me stuck on the word remember. They said it like 14, 15, 16 times. And I was stuck on that. I couldn't even finish the rest of Deuteronomy because remember obviously was the message that was meant to be relayed from that book. Excuse me. So Deuteronomy's warning basically is fulfilled because they did not remember. So after Joshua's decisive leadership, Israel entered into a season where there was no centralized authority. They didn't have Moses. They didn't have Joshua. They didn't have a national shepherd. So a cycle kept repeating itself.
Over and over again.
Israel sinned. God allowed the oppression. Israel cries out. See, when the oppression comes, they be like, oh, Lord, save us. Oh, make a way out of no way. Wow. Come through, Lord. Right now, Lord.
Wow.
Then the Lord shows up.
Hey, change everything.
Then they go back and do the same thing again. Fall back into the sin. Get oppressed. Cry out again. It just kept happening over and over. So
leaders for each generation. I think something you said that's overlooked very quickly. They didn't have consistent leadership. And that's why you could sow anytime there's a up and down. That's an area of our life, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. If you see that waver, it's not a consistent leadership. That's why you be doing good financially, is because somebody's leading it. Like, hey, we saving, we're doing this, and then all of a sudden it drops off because that leader not in place. Or you see somebody that's spiritually, oh, man, I'm well, I'm fast, I'm doing. Why? Because somebody leading the charge of that. But the minute you pull back or you stop attending or you find out, oh, man, I was here. I was talking to some person, they were like, man, I remember I was right here spiritually, and then all of a sudden I don't even know how I wasn't in church no more. That's leadership. Like, it's just that connection, not having it there. And that's why it's good to have consistent leadership. That way you know direction. Hey, man, this was the plan.
And having somebody in place. You've been talking to us about training up our Joshua, somebody that can
hold it down,
take over when you're not there, all of the things. It just showed when they did not have, I'm pointing like they right here, when they did not have leadership in place, they was in sin. Then the oppression came. Then they cried out.
Yeah, and then Joshua had a good chance. He was able to be what you call secondary leadership with Moses. See what I'm saying? He was able to fight while Moses' hand was up.
He got a chance to catch it.
Man, so he was there. And I think that's something that happens in communities. Juxtapose what you said about us as African Americans, seem like it's the same cycle. You see the same protest, the same thing people talking about in 1960s. You talking about in 2026. That's crazy. But the reason why is it haven't been no consistent leadership. Because I had somebody, when you think about somebody like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, or if you're talking about, I can go back and forth, Marcus Garvey, all these great leaders we had over the years that's going through, you'd be like, what happened, man? Rosa Parks, all them people sitting on the bus, who the next? You know what I'm saying? It was never nothing. You know, all them people that were marching, holding hands, walking over that Mississippi Bridge, well, all them people, your grandkids, though, who was the next? Yeah. You know, nobody was ever putting nobody, which they said Jesse Jackson, you know, definitely praying for their family too with him transitioning past week. But just think about it, nobody who took over Rainbow Push, who's next, you know. They were saying Dr. Freddie Haynes, but then he stepped down here in Texas. But I was like, to me, I was like, man, what happened is just a drop of the ball. Like, what? It was no generation to hand this stuff. Like I said once before, it's like the whole community always starting over because it's always another lunch or restart or whatever, because it's nothing traditional.
When oppression comes, we're gonna cry out.
Yeah, like the place we went in and you saw that wall, they show you generation of wealth. Like, this is how we started. You walking down that whole highway, you said that's old money. That money.
Don't say the name.
Don't say the name. We need all the help we get. Don't say the name. Listen, so we walk all the way down, but just to go show it was handed down. And once again, you can't forget. Every time you come in here, it's a remembrance. That's what that wall is. That wall is a remembrance of how we got here. And I think that's how you're going to get to the point that you have what you call sustained wealth, a sustained relationship, same thing with him. And I say that's why I'm big on that community thing. I often as you do this in remembrance of me. He's saying, don't it's the first of the month, so we're doing, man, like when you do this, your mind got to go back to, hey, how this happened, where this come from, this the blood, this. And that's what we're seeing in the chapter while the judge is going through this.
Yeah.
Like you said, it seemed like, man, boom, you go to Deborah. She got wisdom and courage to use a woman, even though you're saying you can't use a woman. She changed up Gideon. He said he too weak. But this is what I love about
Gideon the farmer, huh?
Yeah, this is what I love about the judges. The life of the judges is really like a display of where not Egypt, Israel. Where the Israelites are at the time. So the thing that the judges are wrestling with is almost where Israel stands spiritually. They're weak. So then he get a weak leader to show y'all, hey man, I can use this. Just give it to me.
You know how many times we say God will use you in your weakness, use your mess and everything to make a message for somebody else, because everybody thinks that my struggle, my flaws, all of this discounts me when that's what he wants to use.
Then go forgetting. Let me show you what it's like to be strong. Samson's strong, but then he distracted.
Oh,
so
yes,
you can be strong. Oh, y'all strong now. You got over the getting part where you grew. You strong.
Another example of that disobedience too.
Come on now. So he's showing you through these leaders or where you need to be at. Yeah, very powerful. Very powerful. We go crazy with that. So I love judges too. Like I said, my thing that I like the Old Testament. What we said last time, I had it backwards. I said the Old Testament is New Testament concealed, and then the New Testament is the Old Testament revealed. That's right where it says so. That's why I like the Old Testament. Because Old Testament give you the teeth, it give you the flaws, it give you the tension and it takes.
When you go back now,
it's trying
to
connect the dots,
unfold the covenant story.
Man, it's a work.
I mean, book after book after book, they're all connected, and it's almost like a timeline, even though it wasn't strategically, ordered. It wasn't chronologically ordered that way, but it just flows from I understand
why.
I understand the very beginning now. It's not just in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth and he rested on whatever day it was. It's not just that.
Not just it.
Because that's a lot of times what we focus on. In the beginning, the redemptive plan was made manifest as a result of sin.
That's it. He showed you the whole time.
I mean, if you go back and look at it now, it's like, okay, so all right, he knew from the beginning. So he just wanted the people to remember, love, honor him, live in holiness. But they kept messing up. Okay, so now I can see myself because we mess up all the time. So, when I mess up, they cried out and he came through. So I'm gonna cry out, but I'm not gonna do that shoo and cry out. Well, Lord, I messed up again. Please forgive me and keep on kicking. No.
Help me.
When I cry out, I am seriously
help me
from the pit of my soul.
What?
Lord, change me from the inside out. Help me, God.
Yeah,
because I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to hurt you. I want to honor you. I want to reverence you. I want to draw people to you. But what I'm doing now, it ain't doing that. So fix me. Keep me in your will. Like cry out and then turn. 360. 360, you go right back to the same spot. You got to do a 180. I got to turn my back on those things that's hindering me.
Come out of it.
And walk.
Come out of it.
Walk clean up out of it, never to return again.
That's good.
When we do that, we get to walk in obedience. We get to walk closer to him. We get to hear him more clearly. We get to see a little bit more clearly. And then you can honor the history. All the way from Genesis to where we are now.
Come on now. Get it clearly.
So
walk us through.
Let's talk. Well,
I
do want to honor the time as much as possible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not going to go over our time. At least I'm not going to try to anyways.
Yeah, we on the money.
But y'all know every time I hit a book, I want to see Jesus, right? Yeah. So in Judges, they were screaming. There were screams for a righteous king. Now, they weren't literally saying, we need a king now. But instead, it
Comparisonitis.
It actually showed that they needed, like, it shows the consequences of not having one. That's what we see in Judges. We see the consequences of not having a king because the people were lost. And I'm not saying lost like they looking for the promised land kind of lost. Like they had no guidance. They didn't have anybody to, like Moses, hey, let me guide you through this. Let me hold your hand. Let me help you remember. Let me remind you who you are. Let me help you be the best you. They didn't have that. And then again, they comparing themselves to other nations because now they are a nation and they desire a king, but nobody, and I got up this morning reading again. I did not see where they said, we want a king. Did not see that. But you can tell that there was a need for leadership. Yeah. We all have to have guidance. We all have to have someone teach us and show us and lead us to our destiny, to our purpose, to our place called there, so we can be who we've all been called to be. Israel was called to be God's chosen people. They were chosen, right? But they forgot who they were, had them dibbling and dabbling in things that were not of God. But the crazy thing is, this is what's crazy.
Crazy.
We don't remember God. Yeah. Oh, but when we get oppressed, all of a sudden, I know the man who can deliver us.
I need you.
Come on, God, come through. I know we don't talk. I know I don't know you. But isn't it amazing how even in our lives today, we don't talk to God. We don't do what we're supposed to be doing. We turn away from him. We don't remember who we are, whose we are. We just be doing our own thing. Yeah. And when our back is up against the wall, when we are so flustered in our mind that we have no peace, we can't even rest. He come through. He come through.
Every time.
Man, every single time. So, when you watch, this is something that I saw. It says, when you watch repeated chaos, think about the things that happen in your life over and over and over. And you finally say, God, oh, got to be something better. Got to be a better way.
It's like that?
Yes. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep sitting and living in this kind of mess. It's got to be something better out there.
Sick and tired, sick and tired.
Got to be sick and tired, sick and tired. This is the tension that sets the stage for Samuel. Because he's going to eventually, and this points us to them appointing Samuel, appointing Saul. I said it right. Yeah, Saul as king. This is how they get their first king. But the irony in this, because I did all that trying to find Jesus, right? The irony is that Israel already had a king. Yeah. They just didn't remember what was said in Genesis 3 and 15. How the son, listen, child, the seed of the woman is going to stomp the head of the serpent. They did not remember what was spoken way back when. Somehow, some way, the, I guess, forefathers did not leave a plan in place. Hey, pass this down and speak the importance of it. Yeah. Pass this down. So you give it to your son, he passes down. He gives it to his son, he passes down. Speak like it just happened yesterday, with some power, with some authority, with some reverence, with some, even with a little bit of fear. Listen, this is real honor for sure. Yeah. Y'all do not forget, because when you forget, you fall off. Yeah. But it calls attention, yada yada yada. Sets up the stage so that Saul can eventually become king. Not remembering. Most talking about in Deuteronomy, not remembering that they already had a king, and it was God himself. Because remind you, he dwelt in the tabernacle.
Yeah, that's what Samuel said, King of Kings.
Come on.
You got the King of Kings, but you want the little king.
So, we are out of time. So what I want to do is I want to do a redemptive arc update.
Yeah, I dropped it in the comments.
Just to remind you guys of where we are and what each book deals with, so that you can go back and study in your own time. So Genesis, the promise was given. If you missed that episode, go back and figure out what the promise was.
Walk through it.
Then we go to the book of Exodus. The promise is protected in Exodus. If you don't know what the promise is, you don't know what was being protected. So You find out what the promise is in Genesis. Promise is protected in Exodus. Then in Leviticus, the promise is purified. What do we mean when we say purified? You're going to start learning about some sacrifices and atonement and redemption and all of these things once you go to Leviticus. Then in Numbers, the promise was tested. Okay. You know, they walking in the wilderness and all the things and all the stuff. Deuteronomy, the promise was remembered. Mm-hmm. Then in Joshua, the promise was possessed. Remember, they're in the land now.
Come on now.
Then in Judges, the promise gets corrupted. Where do we go from here?
Come on.
Tune in next week to see what happens next week. All right. Guys, we're out of time.
Yeah.
Definitely not out of material conversation. But we do have to go because we want to honor our time. We're already late. So, guys, thank you for the giving, supporting, sharing, liking, subscribing, all the things. Nothing goes unappreciated. We appreciate it all. Continue to like, continue to subscribe, continue to share. This is a way. Yeah. Might I say the way to get your Bible study in if you're not going to Bible school, a Sunday school, or Bible study during the week. Come on and tune in to BYOB. You can also support BYOB by giving. Yes. You can do so by way of Cash App. That's ICAN365. Stands for Impact Community Action Network, 365 days out of the year. You can also give by way of Givelify. Impact Church DFW. You'll see a picture of my husband and myself, and you can give that way. It's March. We have Field Trip Sunday. We have a 5th Sunday this month. Stay tuned for those details because we want to see you in the place. Guys, until next time.
Grace and peace.